Hello, it's a lovely good evening. Welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. And our top stories in the news tonight: declare mealie meal shortage a national disaster, government advised. Socialist Party leader Fred Membe arrested in Serenje. Government assures support toward the family of the presidential motorbike accident victim. In international news, DR Congo jails 6 for life over Italian ENVOY'S murder. And in sports news, Frank Lampard makes a losing return to Chelsea.
On Monday, 10th April 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chilua with his guest, the FDD President, Madam Edith Nawakwi, at exactly 20:45 hours as they discuss agriculture, the economical salvation for Zambia. Empowerment is the way to go.
Invite others to participate through phoning, on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello, thank you once again for joining us. The news in detail. A 70-year-old man from Lusaka's George compound, Philemon Shumba, who recently appeared on Camnet TV requesting financial help to enable him undergo an eye surgery for cataracts, an eye condition which leaves the lens of the eye clouded, has received assistance from well-wishers who have opted to remain anonymous. The old man appeared on Camnet News on the 3rd of April 2023 requesting financial assistance of 5,000 kwacha to undergo an eye surgery at a private clinic in order to avoid going blind from the condition. He reveals that a named church organization reached out to him after the news item and provided the full amount that the family was desperately trying to raise to save his sight. More in this report.
While all hope seemed lost for this 70-year-old man, Philemon Shumba of Lusaka's George compound, who was almost going blind after his family failed to raise 5,000 kwacha, which was needed for the man to travel and have an eye surgery at Mukinge Mission Hospital in Northwestern Province, help has come through for the family after a named church organization came to their aid following the plight of the old man being aired on Camnet News. Mr. Shumba, who is a former driver at the Ministry of Justice, was retired on health grounds after he developed hypertension and cataracts, which is an eye condition that covers the eye lens and can lead to blindness if left untreated. The family has, however, been struggling to raise the said funds as they have no source of income, leaving the man to put up with the condition for years.
Kuja kumkinge nako barakambata makatracts aya kufunika kuyaita remove mwamsanga otherwise it's not good, yali dangerous. So manje pano ine ni pempa tandizo kuma well wishers kuti nirezinge ndrama yokwanira.
So ine ni magulisa kutogulisa chabe kuti nizitandizika pano.
A church organization which has chosen not to be publicized has however come through for the family with assistance of the required funds in full,
which I've received apparently this morning. And thank you very much to the well wishers who have just come on board to this aid to help me so that I will go for medical operation in Northwestern Kasempa, which is Mukinge Hospital. And I really thank you that you should pray for me so that everything goes well for my operation.
Meanwhile, in a phone interview, a medical doctor, Teddy Mulenga, states that eye surgeries for cataracts have a high success rate once treated. The family now awaits treatment for the man who has been near blind for years and are waiting to tell a success story. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Zambia National Women's Lobby Executive Director Juliet Chibuta has called for a continued sensitization on the need for political parties to adopt female candidates. In an interview with Camnet News, Ms. Chibuta is disappointed that the numbers for elected female leaders has further declined from the previous political term. She has since called for the formulation of a law that will compel political parties to adopt female candidates on a reserved percentage, while the remaining percentage should be shared by members of both female and male. She says this will help Zambia meet her international obligation of 50-50 gender representation in parliament and other decision-making positions. Meanwhile, Ms. Chibuta says the implementation of the Child Code Bill has not been impressive thus far, but was quick to mention that government needs to be given more time to understand and implement the law, as well as capacitate implementers of the bill.
After the 2021 elections, we went down because, like for example, in Parliament, we were at 18%, but now we are at 15%. I think that is not good. And also at local government, we are now at 8%. So you can see those percentages are not good for the country. When the UN and also the African Union is talking about 50%, we are way behind. We actually need to do something. We are, as the UPND government is talking about the legal framework, we need to ensure that we have affirmative action put in place to increase the numbers of women and also to deal with some of the bottlenecks that have been hindering women from participating in electoral process and also in politics. The current legal framework that we have, it's something that we also need to review to ensure that the Child Code Bill is actually implemented. I think there are some related legislation that also needs to be reviewed for the laws, for that law to actually be implemented. So it's something we are in discussion with government, and government is saying that they've just enacted the law and they're just putting resources in order to ensure that the Child Code Bill is actually implemented. So let's wait and see.
A disability rights activist, Thomas Mtonga, has called for the formulation of a different model of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, which will cater for persons with disabilities. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Mtonga states that persons with disabilities have been finding it difficult to access cooperative funding under the current model, as most of them are uneducated, hence failing to write business proposals. The disability rights activist says there is need to acknowledge that differences exist between persons with disabilities and the rest of the citizenship, as most people from this group do not have equal access to basic rights, such as education, when growing up due to various limiting factors.
The CDF, the issue on the CDF committee members, maybe there is need to make a deliberate pronouncement that there should be a CDF committee member with a disability and someone who knows how to speak for other persons with disabilities. Because, of course, we want to commend the minister, of course, for ensuring that people with disabilities were captured, you know, at Ward Development Committee. Because when you read the composition of the Ward Development Committee, you see that there is ZAPID mentioned there, Zambia Agents for Persons with Disabilities, and then there is also at least a person with a disability in the committee. So that one is a positive step in the rightful direction, but we think that it needs to be enhanced by ensuring that the people who are sitting on those committees are persons who are able to speak for other persons with disabilities. And that should be replicated at CDF committee level.
Police in SERENJE have picked and detained Socialist Party leader Fred Membe for allegedly firing gunshots at a UPND campaign center. Mr. Membe, who tried to escape the police dragnet, was captured at Ndabala police checkpoint as he attempted to run away. Mr. Membe, who led a group of Socialist Party cadres, attacked a UPND camp in the ongoing local government election campaigns for Muchinda Ward in SERENJE, where several UPND members and ordinary citizens were injured. The Socialist Party leader was picked in SERENJE district, where he is campaigning for his party's candidate for the Muchinda Ward by-election slated for the 20th of April 2023. Meanwhile, Socialist Party members were by broadcast time being interrogated under the Criminal Investigations Department at SERENJE Police, while those injured have been rushed to the hospital. The opposition Citizens First President Harry Kalaba has accused the United Party for National Development UPND of trying to scheme against the holding of the by-election in Lupososhi constituency of Northern Province. In a statement availed to Camnet News, Mr. Kalaba says he has reliable information that the ruling party is trying to force one of the opposition candidates to withdraw from the race. Mr. Kalaba has further revealed that one of the candidates from the opposition political parties in the race has been confined in order to derail the election and avoid what he terms as an embarrassing loss. The opposition leader has since called on the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, not to allow the UPND to manipulate the electoral process with impunity and impose a rejected candidate on the people of Lupososhi. The Lupososhi by-election in Northern Province is slated for the 20th of April 2023. On the same day, ward by-elections will be held in Central and Copperbelt provinces, respectively. Meanwhile, efforts to get a comment from UPND election chairman Gary Nkombo could not materialize as his phone went unanswered.
Information here in City Ward the UPND is trying to cause some kind of a by-election by forcing some candidates in the ward to withdraw, and then ECZ will have to postpone the elections. I think we are advising the UPND to behave themselves. This is not the time to play gymnastics. President Hakainde Hichilema recently was masquerading as a Democrat when we had this Democrat summit. So where is the democracy now there if you want to begin getting other people's candidates to withdraw and not your candidates, so that you can manipulate the process of elections? It is wrong and we can't accept it.
Leadership Movement Party President Richard Silombe has challenged the United Party for National Development UPND to declare the mealie meal shortage in the country as a national disaster to attract urgent mitigation measures against the situation. Addressing the media Saturday morning, Mr. Silombe says the scenario being seen of people queuing up to buy mealie meal is unprecedented and has never happened in the country from the time of Zambia's first Republican President, Kenneth Kaunda. He has, however, wondered why the UPND, which was quick to declare hunger as a national disaster while in opposition in 2019, when dry spells characterized most parts of the country, are reluctant today to do the same now that they are in government. More in this report.
The recent mealie meal shortages in Zambia have raised questions on the country's food security, as the Ministry of Agriculture has been emphasizing that the country is 100% food secure. Recent weeks have, however, seen more shops and chain stores running out of 25-kilogram bags of this commodity, despite it fetching at almost 200 kwacha and beyond 300 kwacha in some rural areas. This has left many queuing up for hours just to buy one bag of a 25-kilogram bag of mealie meal. Amidst this, some have been caught smuggling this commodity for sale in neighboring countries. The opposition Leadership Movement Party say they have been following these happenings keenly, noting that this situation calls for the declaration of hunger in the nation as a national disaster. Party President Richard Silombe was addressing the media Saturday morning.
We expect you now to declare this country as a poverty-stricken country and start moving, because when you realize that you are going to put contingent measures to ensure that Zambians are rescued. But what are we seeing today? What we are seeing are lightweight programs, malnourished ideas about dealing with a crisis, such as putting ZNS in the borders, warning farmers not to sell their produce outside the country. That will not help us, because we expect the New Dawn government to go on the ground, put ZNS into action. Let us have winter maize. Let us start producing.
Meanwhile, Leadership Movement Party Secretary General Jairus Ngoma has also given his view.
We need to be working now, because those rivers, the rivers we have, we'll be using them as a way to go into killing this problem. To talk of food, we'll go into a winter maize, and electricity will be available, and we can be exporting this facility or this commodity to the neighboring countries. What are you doing? You are conquering now. you cannot be giving surnames. Mungaleko na land ya land vampasana ma surname ati ndimwe ma squatters. Apa manje ni business futi. Another surname. No, you are smugglers.
They have further urged President Hakainde Hichilema to engage countries like Russia for cheaper deals on fuel, which is central to the cost of living, stating that Zambia is an independent country and should therefore be free to engage with all countries, despite some being in conflict with each other. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Governance and Development Advocates GDA Executive Director Elias Mulenga has called for an investigation on the operations of millers amidst the mealie meal shortage in the country, suspecting that some could be conniving with smugglers with a view to getting more profit from selling the commodity at a higher profit in neighboring countries. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Mulenga has questioned why only 10-kilogram bags of the commodity are being found in most shops and chain stores, while 25-kilogram bags are being found with smugglers at border points. He has described the current mealie meal shortage as artificial, stating that it is being orchestrated by unscrupulous people who need to be investigated.
We are saddened to notice that we have protracted shortage of mealie meal in the country. This is a scam because over 10,000 bags of 25 kg mealie meal has been impounded on the Copper Belt, more especially in border areas. So this is an indication that the shortage of mealie meal is artificial, in the sense that millers have decided to cause this shortage of mealie meal due to increase in the prices in our neighboring countries. How could it be possible that we have got 10 kgs on the market when 25 kgs are missing, and when 25 kgs have been found impounded by the police? This should come to an end, and government should quickly move in to stop importation of mealie meal in neighboring countries until the situation normalizes.
Government has assured the family of the late Miriam Tembo, a lady who was hit by a presidential motorbike and died on the spot, of its continued support in line with what the family needs. Speaking when she visited the funeral house in Lusaka's garden compound Saturday, Lusaka Province Minister Sheo Moliata says President Hakainde Hichilema and the entire government machinery is saddened about the loss of life. The minister says government will cater for the funeral expenses and continue to discuss the way forward. The minister was accompanied by Lusaka Province Police Commissioner, among other officers from the police service, and brought forth assorted items, food items to cushion and alleviate the burden of funeral expenses. More in this report.
Family members and friends gathered at the residence of Miriam Tembo, 30, who died after being hit by a presidential motorbike that was part of the presidential motorcade sweeper on Thursday this week. Family members have narrated that Miriam Tembo was a hairdresser and on the fateful day was following one of her clients in Chalala area where the accident happened. Disappointed at the loss of one of their helper, family representative Machine Chisenga says the family is now hopeful that government has come on board from the time the accident happened. Mr. Chisenga says the family is comforted that government is mourning with them. Because
we have been wondering, and we thank God that now through you makwandi sana kufika. Yes. Tamikira kwa koma tenzofuna kukala ko bwino na makambido ya bwino, cause from the day she passed away, that is not yesterday, the other day 18. Yesterday there was nothing from the state. Kunabwera chabeba councillor wa garden. He was here and he helped us.
Meanwhile, Lusaka Province Minister Shehu Muliata says government sympathizes with the family of Miriam Tembo over their loss, which could have been avoided, urging them to place everything in God's hands. She says government has committed to buy the coffin, among other things needed for the late Miriam Tembo to be offered a dignified send-off.
Kama tupepano di pamoja chamne chachitika mai ni choti baba naiti accident sunga zile tizabela ndao panje mpeze kati muntu atisi nase ndiseolila munga boma ndi chifuko tafika kuti tipepese na mumuzivi kuti simuli mweka tilira naimwe tankala naimwe mavuto aya na kuona kuti vonse vapita munjira vopasa muntu ulemerero wake munga paimfa yake timapeto avonse tizakamuona mwana watu chasi natupali na vana vamene vanasiyo chimboya kupaseni mphamvu boma ilila naimwe lero siku ya lero tetea singaleke sochape boma kupitira kupolisi kupitira kwanga talitakupa kuti tizaonapo na nkani ya kofi lemene boma neza kwanga kutandiza panja.
The family hopes to bury their loved one, who leaves behind no children or husband, but brothers and sisters on Monday.
Burying on Monday depends naimwe. Amene mfunika kushita for police now what the law says. So we are just coming behind you, and since my brother yesterday man knows that I'm a different woman, and I've heard from your voice that you are a leader. We appreciate it. So nice it Pempa that you guide us. Green up how many Tizankaya and Tizanka suspense.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Tabo Kawana has advised the church to avoid allowing politicians using the pulpit to divide the nation. Speaking when he graced the fundraising event towards the completion of Lubuto Seventh-day Adventist Church in Kalingalinga Saturday, Mr. Kawana says the church is a unifier, hence the need for it to play a leading role in uniting the nation. He says the United Party for National Development administration is keen on uniting the country regardless of political affiliation or ethnic grouping, adding that the development can only be attained if people are united. Meanwhile, Mr. Kawana, who read a scripture from Haggai, which talks about building the house for the Lord, has since pledged 5,000 kwacha toward the completion of the church building. The church sought to raise 60,000 kwacha.
This opportunity to do only two things. Number one, to pass a word of caution to the church through your congregation, to the church countrywide, that we mustn't allow our churches to be used as sources for division. Let us not allow politicians to turn the church, the house of the Lord, into battlegrounds. Amen. Let us not allow division in our country, perpetuated by politicians, to be used in our churches. Let the church lead the way. Let the church invite the politicians. But when you do so, invite the ones on the left and the ones on the right. And when you give them a chance to speak, raise both of them. Let them share one microphone and say, talk to the congregation. Let's bring the country together. Let us see what this country can do. For example, to reconcile, not their differences per se, but to reconcile our president and our former president. Our country needs to heal from the elections and begin to move forward. So please, let's use the church to unite the country and not to divide the country. Having said that, I bring a humble contribution from my family and I. We are pledging 5,000 kwacha. So we will give 2,500 today, and then next month, or this month, when you hear that civil servants have been paid, call me, then we'll give the balance of the 2,500.
You're watching Camnet Television's main news. Join us for more news after this break.
On Monday, 10th April 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chilua with his guest, the FDD President, Madam Edith Nawakwi, at exactly 20:45 hours as they discuss agriculture, the economical salvation for Zambia. Empowerment is the way to go.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Camnet TV, in collaboration with Kawama Orphanage, invites you for a 2-day music festival on the 29th and 30th of April 2023. Time 10:30 hours to 18 hours. Venue Camnet Grounds opposite Hilltop Hospital in Kabulonga. Musical host Ruben. Charges 250 kwacha VIP, 100 kwacha ordinary and 50 kwacha children. Get your tickets at CompuTickets. Come, let us support this orphanage together.
Nangula tata mwa kutali
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Civil Servants and Allied Workers Union General Secretary Makai says civil servants across the country are elated that the National Pension Scheme Amendment Bill of 2022 has passed third reading in Parliament and is only waiting presidential assent. In an interview, the unionist states that many labor unions, being the pioneers of the said amendments, are happy to see progress in the country's labor sector, which will allow workers to withdraw part of their benefits before retirement and invest in various initiatives. He has therefore urged beneficiaries to exercise patience and wait for the bill to be fully passed into law observing that many have been questioning what happened to the partial withdrawal of benefits.
As Saus, you may be aware that we are some of the part of the pioneers of this core. First, we realized that NAPSA in its current state was a death sentence to all those workers who were contributing to it. But we want to appreciate and applaud government for the efforts they've done, that now the bill on partial withdrawal has been gone through the third reading. And as such, we just want to call upon the President to quickly assent to the bill so that it becomes law. And that the members now should start getting a partial withdrawal, no matter how small. What's important is when they are still energetic, when they are still in the service, they are able to access some of their money so that they are able to positively invest it. Because if they positively invest it, what it means is by the time they retire, that which they had invested would have started paying dividends. And therefore we expect less suffering during retirement. Most of the people will not suffer, except those who chose to suffer, because you can choose to suffer by the way you make decisions over your money. So for those who choose to suffer, they can get those with partial withdrawal and squander them the way they want to squander them. But for those who want to live a comfortable life in retirement, in old age, let them get that money, positively invest it, because it will help them in their old age. So we just want to congratulate and commend government for the bold step which they took. It is really going to help the workers in this country. Because we have seen NAPSA is law, and all employers, all employees in this country subscribe to NAPSA. So if they are given that platform where they are able to get partial withdrawal from their subscription to NAPSA, it will really help them.
Dundumwezi Member of Parliament Edgar Singombe says the construction of recreation facilities is key on the agenda of the constituency in an effort to curb teenage pregnancies and alcohol abuse among youths in the rural community. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Singombe notes that while urban areas have a wide range of recreation facilities to choose from, most rural areas hardly have any, leading youths to engage in illicit activities. He, however, notes that the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, presents an excellent opportunity for the construction of recreation facilities, even in far-flung areas. More in this report.
Rural areas such as Eastern Province have for a long time been grappling with record numbers of teenage pregnancies in their thousands, resulting in school dropouts among girls. Boys have not been spared from illicit vices either, as they spend most of their time engaging in alcohol abuse. Dundumwezi Constituency Member of Parliament Edgar Singombe says the picture is the same in most rural areas, a problem attributed to the lack of recreation facilities for most youths. This has, however, also raised concerns in the potential of HIV and AIDS cases rising.
What is still lacking, I think, in the rural areas is where you bring the girls. I think we have a problem with the girl child. I don't know whether it's because of the kind of work that they do in the afternoon. They have to start looking for food for the evenings and something like that. So there isn't much for our girl child. And I think this is now disadvantaging them to an extent where we have early pregnancies.
The lawmaker has therefore advised rural constituencies to consider setting up a number of recreation centers in their constituencies using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, to ensure that even rural areas have places where youths can pass time productively.
I think we are addressing. This year we are constructing at Kasukwe Secondary School, we are constructing at Mubanga Secondary School, we are constructing at Hablide Secondary School. These are schools in the village and which are currently doing very fine. If you look at the results at these schools, you cannot believe that they are in the rural areas. All what we need is, I think, to inject them with a bit of maybe electrifying them, then they'll be able to take off 100%. So this is what we are doing to ensure that we reduce these early pregnancies and also alcohol abuse.
He states that the fund provides many opportunities for rural communities to catch up with urban areas, not only in infrastructure development, but also in the safeguarding of youths on whose productivity the country depends. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News.
Minister of Information and Media, Chushi Kasanda, has called on Chisamba residents to take advantage of various empowerment programs offered by government to better their lives. Ms. Kasanda, who is also Chisamba Member of Parliament, said residents should utilize the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, to acquire skills and start up businesses. Zanis reports that Ms. Kasanda was speaking during a project monitoring and sensitization meeting at Nyankanga Primary School. She emphasized the need for residents to form cooperatives so that they can benefit from CDF and other empowerment programs. Ms. Kasanda also announced that Chisamba Town Council through CDF has procured equipment such as bulldozers, compactor and water bowser to help work on roads in the district. Ms. Kasanda said the local authority will soon start working on the road network throughout the district.
Empowerment programs offered by government. In Nyankanga, the minister highlighted a number of programs.
Mashini njotu wakola mamashini la njichitwa ichigreda chidacheshino greda maroti. Wanda kwamba tuchaule maroti apapa tendwi ponse batalike kuendwa. Undalama ya CDF yenka mulishi kwamba CDF yalinga 1.6 te. Hapa ya katanda CDF ilipa 28.3. Vayenga kwamba isho shichitike suno mbenka mboma kanikao kwamba ibabeba driver bachishi chino bahaka inde ichilema iyo 28.3 mwenka mundarambo mo mwantukusha magrants ulima vamwi maklabu pano wakapekwa kondarama te ndichipali maklabu yoviro akaswa kumwapula pali ya maklabu yoviro kwenka kuno kunyankanga te ono bazimaye ama youth mwakanyufa kwamba ibabyano bakapekwa mali te ila muchilindirashi no madara no bantu kamusaka mufominye maklabu no bantu atupange makampani.
And some residents expressed concern over the manner in which the Farmer Input Support Program FISIP is implemented, while others asked for free vaccination of their animals and presence of livestock officers.
Tagatambula pe ma fertilizers ma locations tagatambula so ndipo hakwamba kuti ino iyakayitika kwamba kuti ma new cooperatives amwi akatambuli ma locations zabo ninzi.
In response, officers from Ministry of Agriculture and those from Livestock had the following response.
Kamutola mayinda mulembe mu system kamuyanji bamwe batula mayinda bamita batoti
wabuyasa ng'ombe gwabila ng'ombe bulwazi bwa foot and mouth disease obuya bulwazi bupanga ilonda amunsumbo ulumende egawula musamoyo alino jindu chenda ambaula mkauli.
Chisamba Town Council Chairperson Fred Chongo had this advice for the residents.
Ibasololiba mwibaga bweza fertilizer. Kesima members tibatkani. Ni problem ya MP. Ni problem ya DC. Ni problem ya council chairman. Amubajinchi.
Rachel Chininga reporting for Zanis in Chisamba.
This is Camnet Television and not just another channel. Join us for international and sports news after this break.
On Monday, 10th April 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chilua with his guest, the FDD President, Madam Edith Nawakwi, at exactly 20:45 hours as they discuss agriculture, the economical salvation for Zambia. Empowerment is the way to go.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages. Make a debt with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Camnet TV, in collaboration with Kawama Orphanage, invites you for a 2-day music festival on the 29th and 30th of April 2023. Time 10:30 hours to 18 hours. Venue Camnet Grounds opposite Hilltop Hospital in Kabulonga. Musical host Ruben. Charges 250 kwacha VIP, 100 kwacha ordinary, and 50 kwacha children. Get your tickets at CompuTickets. Come, let us support this orphanage together.
Nangula tata mwabo kutali
Welcome back. And now in international news, a military tribunal in the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital, Kinshasa, on Friday sentenced 6 men to life in prison for murdering Italy's ambassador in 2021. Public prosecutors and had originally sought the death penalty for the 6 accused, calling them members of a criminal gang. Luca Antanasio was among 3 people shot dead on February 22, 2021, when a United Nations convoy was ambushed in the DRC's troubled east. The other fatalities were driver Mustafa Milambo and Italian police officer Vittorio Iachavacci. On Friday, lawyers for the 6 Congolese men told AFP they would appeal the life terms. 5 of the men are being held in prison in Kinshasa, while the other is on the run. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
A military tribunal in the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital, Kinshasa, has sentenced 6 men to life in prison for murdering Italy's ambassador in 2021. Public prosecutors had originally sought the death penalty for the 6 accused, calling them members of a criminal gang. The Republic of Italy, in consequence, condemns all the above-mentioned defendants to the payment of the equivalent in the Congolese francs of a sum of about $2 million American as damages for all prejudice. Luca Atanasio was among 3 people shot dead on February 22, 2021, when a United Nations convoy was ambushed in the DRC's troubled east. The fact that the judges did not have to declare the death penalty acknowledges in one way or the other the arguments of the defense, because they did not recognize this fact, and they, the convicted, will go to the registry to appeal this judgment.
Pour interjeter appel contre ces jugements.
Much of eastern DRC is prey to armed groups, many of which are a legacy of regional wars that flared during the late 1990s and early 2000s.
Chile's President Gabriel Boric tries to console the mother of the latest policeman killed in the line of duty. They killed my son, she sobs, while 3 former Chilean presidents watch from the front row of the church. 33-year-old Daniel Palma was shot in the head at point-blank range on Wednesday, the 4th policeman murdered while on patrol in less than a month.
Enough of killing those who guarantee our safety. Today there is a child, a wife, and an institution that is suffering.
The latest killing has shaken a country that, until 5 years ago, thought it was immune to the type of violent crimes that plagued many of Chile's neighbors. Now security, or the lack of it, has become a national priority.
3 policemen murdered in the last fortnight. That's something that can't happen in Chile. It's never happened before, and it can't continue.
Following the latest victim's funeral, President Boric signed a controversial new law allowing police to use lethal force on the presumption that they're in danger.
The situation we're facing has been brewing for a long time and has multiple causes. It won't be easy to confront. Its worst expression are the assassinations we've had to lament these past weeks.
Chile has seen an upsurge in drug trafficking and illegal weapons, but also gangs and organized crime groups who've entered Chile from Venezuela and Colombia. In the last 5 years, hundreds of thousands of undocumented migrants have entered this country, including 2 Venezuelans suspected of having killed this policeman. Rightly or wrongly, more and more Chileans are blaming some of them for importing crime to this country. Here in the capital, some mayors are even demanding that the government declare a state of emergency in their counties, where nearly 40% of crimes are committed. Starting Monday, undocumented migrants suspected of committing a crime will be placed under preventive detention until their identity and innocence can be established. Another unprecedented step.
It's now time for sports news. In our sports news tonight, Frank Lampard made a losing return to the Chelsea hot seat as Wolverhampton Wanderers eased their relegation worries with a hard-earned victory. Chelsea legend Lampard, who was predictably given a rapturous reception from the travelling fans at Molineux following his appointment as interim head coach 27 months after being sacked as the club's full-time manager. Yet the club's all-time record scorer was unable to stop the poor form that led to Graham Potter's sacking as mid-table Chelsea slumped to an 11th top-flight defeat of the season after failing to score for the 3rd successive game. Wolves were on the front foot throughout and deserved their win, which came after a sweet finish by Matthias Nunes, the Portugal midfielder's first goal for the club since joining from Sporting Lisbon last August. Nunes, who cost the club record £38 million, beat Kepa Arrizabalaga with a fierce attempt from the tightest of angles after an attempted headed clearance by Kalidou Koulibaly. Joao Felix forced a save from Jose Sa, but Chelsea were disappointing and remained 11th after just 2 wins in 11 games. That note brings us to the end of our news tonight. But before we go, the headlines once again. Declare mealie meal shortage a national disaster, government advised. Socialist Party leader Fred Membe arrested in SERENJE. Government assures support toward the family of the presidential motorbike accident victim. In international news, DR Congo jails 6 for life over Italian ENVOY'S murder. And in sports news, Frank Lampard makes a losing return to Chelsea. Our Camnet verse of the day comes from Psalms 143, verse 1. Lord, hear my prayer. Listen to my cry for mercy. In your faithfulness and righteousness, come to my relief. Again, thank you so much for watching Camnet Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.